Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Crochet for Baby. I hope you like my channel and you subscribe. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to crochet this little coat, jacket, or cardigan for baby girls between 3 and 6 months old. Now stay tuned. Next week, I'll go ahead and also show you the matching little dress, and comment below and let me know if you'd like me to make the matching little hat, diaper cover, or baby booties. Now the little jacket, coat, or sweater that we're going to crochet in the tutorial is for baby girls between 3 and 6 months old, but you can easily make it smaller or bigger from 3 to 6 months and up to 6 to 12 months. Down here in the information box, I'm going to leave some information on how you can make it smaller or bigger, so be sure to check that out. Also, if you prefer a written pattern, I'll leave the link to my Etsy shop in the information box as well. Also, don't forget, all of my tutorials are always in English and in Spanish, and at the end of the tutorial, I leave you the finished measurements. Okay, let's get started, and thank you for watching. To make this little cardigan sweater, I'll be using this 5mm crochet hook, and today I'm using Aran weight yarn. You can also use any number 4 yarn or 10 ply. Now, to begin, I have a total of 41 chains. This chain here is measuring about 26 centimeters, which is about 10.25 inches. Now, if you're off by 1 or 2 centimeters, it's okay. Just continue. So here, to begin, on the third chain from the hook, 1, 2, 3, I'm going to make a double crochet. Now, these 2 chains here at the beginning do not count as a stitch. Here, I'm going to make a total of 5 double crochets. I already have 1, so into the next chain, make a double crochet. That's 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochets. Now this here is going to be one of the front panels. Now chain 1, and into the next chain make a double crochet. Here is the first corner, so I'm going to put a stitch marker just to mark this corner. And now I'm going to make a total of 9 double crochets. This here is going to be the sleeve, so I already have 1. Into the next chain, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 double crochets. Now chain 1, and into the next chain make a double crochet. Here's the second corner. Put a stitch marker here to mark the second corner. And now for the back side, I need to make a total of 11 double crochets. So I have 1, into the next chain make a double crochet, into the next same thing, and continue until we have 11 double crochets. I'll come back and show you what we need to do next. I finished making these 11 double crochets for the back side. Now I'm going to chain 1, and into the next chain make a double crochet. Put a stitch marker here to mark this third corner. And now I need to make a total of 9 double crochets. So I already have 1, into the next chain make a double crochet, that's 2, into the next make the next one, and so on. Continue. Finish making these 9 double crochets, and then I'll come back and show you what we need to do next. I finished making these 9 double crochets. This here is for the other sleeve. Now chain 1, and into the next chain make a double crochet. We're going to put a stitch marker here to mark this fourth corner. And now here I'm going to finish with 5 double crochets. That's 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochets. And here's the first row. Now for this first row, you should have a total of 39 double crochets. For each one of the front panels, we have 5 double crochets. For each one of the sleeves, you have 9 double crochets. And for the back side, we have 11 double crochets. So that's a total of 39 double crochets. Remember, the 2 chains do not count. Now for the second row, we're going to chain 2 and turn. These 2 chains never count as a stitch. They're there so that when we finish the yoke, there's a nice straight line here. Now in the second row to begin, into these first 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, I'm going to make a double crochet. Every time you begin this row, you're always going to start with 2 double crochets and then finish with 2 double crochets at the end. Now to continue, chain 1, skip 1 double crochet, and into the next make a double crochet. Chain 1, skip this last double crochet for the front panel, and inside this chain 1 space we're going to make a fan. Each one of these fans are going to go inside each one of the corners, and they're going to consist of 2 double crochets, 1 chain, 2 double crochets. Now put back your stitch marker here, and now we're going to continue for the sleeve. So chain 1, skip this first double crochet and into the next, make a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 double crochet and into the next, make a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 double crochet, chain 1. Now here's the second corner. Remove the stitch marker, and inside this corner make a fan. 2 double crochets, 1 chain, 2 double crochets. This is how you're going to continue. Don't forget to return your stitch marker to the center here. So now chain 1, skip this first double crochet and into the next, make a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 and into the next, double crochet, chain 1, and so on. When you get to each one of these 2 remaining corners, you're going to do exactly the same thing I just did here, a fan. Continue, finish this second row, and then I'll come back and show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this second row. Here at the end, I have 1 last double crochet. So on top of this last double crochet, make a double crochet. Now at the end of this second row, you should have 35 double crochets, including the double crochets on each one of the corners. Now for the third row, chain 2 and turn. Beginning on top of these 2 double crochets, to begin, make a double crochet. Into the chain 1 space, make a double crochet. On top of the double crochet, make a double crochet. Into the chain 1 space, make a double crochet, and then into these next 2 double crochets, make a double crochet. Now here's the chain 1 space of this first corner, make a fan. Return your stitch marker here to mark the corner, and we're going to continue now and do the same thing. 1 double crochet for each double crochet, and a double crochet into the chain 1 space. This is all we're going to do for this third row. So continue, finish this third row. Remember that inside each one of the corners you're going to do a fan, and so on. Continue, and I will meet you at the end of this third row. I'm here at the end of this third row. At the end of this third row, I have 71 double crochets. Now from here on, these are the 2 rows that we're going to repeat, the second and the third row. So for the fourth row, I need to repeat exactly the same thing I did on the second row. So chain 2, turn. Now to start this row, remember I said that we always start with 2 double crochets at the beginning, and we always end with 2 double crochets here at the end. So we need to make these 2 double crochets here. And now chain 1, skip 1 double crochet and into the next, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 and into the next, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, chain 1, and here's the first corner. Inside the corners, you're always going to do a fan. Return your stitch marker to mark the corner here, and now continue in the same way. Chain 1, skip this double crochet and into the next, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, and into the next, double crochet, chain 1, and so on. I'm going to continue like this until I come to the second corner to show you once again what you need to do. Here's the second corner. That's my last double crochet, so I'm going to skip that double crochet, and inside this corner I'm going to make a fan. Return your stitch marker to mark the second corner, chain 1, skip this double crochet and into the next, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 and into the next, double crochet, chain 1, and so on. Continue, finish this 4th row, and I will meet you at the end. I'm here at the end of this 4th row. To finish on top of the last double crochet, make a double crochet. And this is how I finish this 4th row. At the end of this 4th row, I have 51 double crochets. From here on, like I said, these are the 2 rows that you're going to repeat. Now for the 5th row, you're going to chain 2 and turn. In this row, we need to do the row of double crochets. So beginning on top of the first double crochet, make a double crochet, on top of the next double crochet, and so on. Here, this is all we're going to do until we come to the corner. Okay, so here's the first corner. Remove the stitch marker, and inside this corner here, make a fan. Now continue and do the same thing on each one of the double crochets and the chain 1 spaces. And this is all we're going to do for the rest here until we finish the yoke. I'm not exactly sure how many rows I'm going to do, but all you're doing is just repeating these 2 rows. Continue watching. Also, I will let you know how many stitches you should have at the end of this 5th row. And then all of the rows from here on, I'm also going to give you the number of stitches that you should have at the end of those rows. So continue watching. I'll meet you at the end of that row. Okay, I finished making the yoke. I only did one more row. So the last row that I left you off was here, row 5. So at the end of the 5th row, you should have had 103 double crochets. And I have a total of 67 double crochets at the end of this 6th row. Now, this part here is measuring right across. It's measuring about 10.5 centimeters, which is about 4.25 inches. And the chest area here, just the top, it's measuring about 20.5 centimeters, which is about 8 inches. Now we're going to separate the sleeves here. So to do this, before we start to separate the sleeve, I want you to go here to the back, and we're going to put a stitch marker here. Now between these 2 stitch markers, between these 2 corners, I have 17 double crochets. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. So I want you to put a stitch marker into this double crochet, which is the 9th double crochet. If we count from here, that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So make sure you put a stitch marker into this 9th double crochet. We're going to make a small adjustment once we do this next row, so make sure to do that. So here to begin, this is going to be row 1. We're going to start counting since it's easier for me to tell you how many rows I'm going to do from here on. So this is going to be row 1. So chain 1, turn. On top of this first double crochet here, make a single crochet. Now into this chain 1 space here, make a shell. Each one of these shells is going to consist of 4 double crochets. Now into this next chain 1 space, make a single crochet, and into the next chain 1 space, make a shell. Four double crochets, into the next chain 1 space, a single crochet, and into the next, make a shell. here for the front panel, I want to make sure I have 4 shells. Into the next chain 1 space, make a single crochet, and into this first corner, remove the stitch marker, we don't need it anymore. Here, make a shell. So here's my 4th shell for this front panel. There, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now to separate the sleeves, chain 2, skip 16 double crochets for the sleeves, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and into this second corner, make a shell. Now we're going to continue along the back side, so into this first chain 1 space here for the back side, make a single crochet, then into the next space, make a shell. Single crochet into the next chain 1 space, and then into the next chain 1 space, a shell. Single crochet into the next chain 1 space, and a shell into the next space. Now this is where we're going to make the small adjustment. Here so far I have 4 shells, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to skip this next chain 1 space, and on top of the double crochet, which is the 9th double crochet here, make your single crochet, skip this next chain 1 space, and into the next chain 1 space, make your shell. Now this adjustment here, I'm making it because if I continue with the same sequence of shell, single crochets, shell, single crochets, I'm going to finish with a single crochet here, and I don't want that. I want to make sure I finish with a shell. So that's why we're making this adjustment there, and really you're not going to be able to see it unless you really look for that adjustment. So now into the next space I did a single crochet, and into the next I'm going to make a shell. Single crochet into the next, shell into the next. Single crochet, and inside this third corner, remove the stitch marker, I'm going to make my shell. Now for the back side, I have 8 shells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. Now to separate the second sleeve here, chain 2, skip these 16 double crochets, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and inside this 4th corner, make a shell. Now single crochet into this first chain 1 space for this front panel, and then continue until we finish this first row. So shell, single, shell, single, shell, single on top of the last double crochet. I'll meet you at the end of this first row. I'm here at the end of this first row where we separated the sleeves. I finished making my 4 shells here. So to finish this row, go on top of the double crochet and make a single crochet. And this is how I finish this first row. This is where we have divided the sleeves. This is what it looks like. Here's the front. And I have a total of 4 shells for each one of the front panels, and I have 8 shells for the back side. So that's a total of 16 shells for this first row. Now I would put a stitch marker to mark the front here. This is the front. I'm going to remove this stitch marker here from the back, and I'm going to put it here. This is so that we know that from here on, this is the right side, and this is the inside of the sweater. That's what it looks like. So here's the piece of yarn that I had left over when I did the chain, so make sure that you're also on the same side. So here, we're going to continue and do the second row. So for the second row, chain 3, turn, and here we have the first shell. We have 4 double crochets. Into the first 2 double crochets, make a front post double crochet. It's 1 and 2, chain 1, and into the last 2 double crochets, same thing, front post double crochets. So this is how we're going to work each one of the shells. 2 front post double crochets, chain 1, 2 front post double crochets. Now I'm going to continue and do the same thing for each one of these remaining shells. So 2 front post double crochets, chain 1, 2 front post double crochets. I'm going to show you what we're going to do under the sleeve, so I'm going to work these shells for the front panels. Okay, here's my last shell. I have the 2 chains here under the sleeve. Here, just insert your hook into this space and make 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. Now we have the first shell for the back side, same thing, 2 front post double crochets, chain 1, 2 front post double crochets. And then same thing into each one of these 8 shells for the back side, 2 front post double crochets, chain 1, 2 front post double crochets. Now continue and finish the back side. Here under the sleeve, same thing. You're going to do 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets into this chain 2 space, and then continue and finish this side. I will meet you at the end of this second row. I'm here at the end of this second row. This is where we've done these front post double crochets. Now here at the end, to finish, on top of this single crochet, make a double crochet. And this is how I finish this second row. Now, if we count each one of these double crochets, including these that we did under the sleeve, I have a total of 74 double crochets or 18 shells. We have 18 shells because this one here under the sleeve on both sides counts as a shell. So we added an extra shell under each sleeve, so that's a total of 18 shells for this second row. Now for the third row, we're going to chain 1 and turn. Now on top of this last double crochet that I did, make a single crochet. Now we have the first shell inside this chain 1 space here, make a shell. Now chain 1, in the middle of these 2 shells right here, make a single crochet, chain 1, inside the next shell, make a shell. Chain 1, in the middle of these 2 shells, make a single crochet, chain 1, and inside the next chain 1 space, make a shell. Chain 1, in the middle of these 2 shells, make a single crochet, chain 1, and inside this next shell, make a shell. Now for the front panels, we have 4 shells again. Now chain 1, and in the middle here of this shell under the sleeve that I did in the last row, right here, right in the middle, make a single crochet, chain 1, and inside this shell here, make a shell. Now chain 1, After these 2 double crochets in the middle between the first shell for the back side and this shell under the sleeve, make a single crochet, chain 1, and inside the chain 1 space of the first shell for the back side, make a shell. And this is all we're going to do from now on. See, here's the extra shell under the sleeve. Now don't forget to always chain 1, and in the middle of the 2 shells make a single crochet, chain 1, and then inside the next chain 1 space make a shell. Continue like this, and I'll meet you right here right before we finish, right here, to show you how we're going to do exactly the same thing I just showed you here on this side. I'll meet you then. I finished making these shells for the back side. I have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now here, chain 1, and in the middle of these 2 shells, the one that's under the sleeve and this last one for the back side, make a single crochet, chain 1. Now inside the shell that's under the sleeve, make a shell. Chain 1. In the middle of the 2 shells here, make a single crochet, chain 1, and into the first shell for the front panel, make a shell, and then continue and finish this 3rd row. Single crochet, shell, single crochet, shell, single crochet, shell, and single crochet here at the end. I'll meet you at the end of this 3rd row. I'm here at the end of this 3rd row. This is where we've done all of these shells. I have a total of 18 shells. Now here at the end, do not chain 1 here at the end. Go into the 2nd chain here and make a single crochet. And this is how I finished this 3rd row with 18 shells. From here on, we're going to continue with these 18 shells, and we're going to repeat these 2 rows, the row of shells and the row of front post double crochets. For the 4th row here, chain 3 and turn. We have the first shell here into the first 2 double crochets, make front post double crochets, chain 1 into the last 2 front post double crochets. Again, we have the 2nd shell, make 2 front post double crochets, chain 1, 2 front post double crochets. This is all we're going to do for the rest of this 4th row, so continue, and I will meet you at the end to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this 4th row. This is where we've done front post double crochets. Now here to finish, we're going to make a double crochet on top of this last single crochet, and this is how I finish this 4th row. I have a total of 18 shells, and from here on we're always going to have 18 shells, and we're going to repeat these 2 rows, the row of front post double crochets and the row of shells. So here, to start you off for the 5th row, this 5th row we always start with a chain, then we turn, and beginning on top of this last double crochet here, make a single crochet. Do not chain here at the beginning. Go inside the first shell into this chain 1 space here and make your first shell. Now chain 1, and in the middle of the 2 shells make a single crochet, chain 1, and inside the next shell make a shell. That's all we're going to do from here. Just repeat these 2 rows, and we're always going to have 18 shells. In the middle of the 2, make a single crochet, chain 1, and then shell. To finish this row here, you're going to go here into the 2nd chain. Remember, here's going to be your last shell. Do not chain 1, but just go here into the 2nd chain and make a single crochet. And then continue and repeat the row of front post double crochets where you chain 3, turn, and then start 2 front post double crochets, chain 1, 2 front post double crochets, and so on. Now, I'm not exactly sure how many rows I'm going to do here for the rest, but continue watching. I'll let you know exactly how many rows I'm going to do, so I will meet you at the end of that row. Okay, I finished making this part. I did a total of 13 rows. So from here where we divided the sleeves, which is the first row of fans, I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 rows. Now here at the end, I just finished by making a single crochet into the 2nd chain. And this part here is measuring, let's see, from the top of the shoulder here to the last row, it's measuring about, let's see, a little bit over 9.5 inches, which is about 25 centimeters. So here we're going to make one more row here for the bottom. If you want to make this a bit longer, you can just continue in the same way and just make sure that your last row is the row of shells here. Now, for the size that we're making this for, I think this size is fine. So here, I already did one chain. I'm going to turn, and on top of this single crochet, make a single crochet. Now chain 2, and here we have 4 double crochets, so right in the middle, so 2 on each side, right in the middle here, make a single crochet, 3 chains, single crochet. Now chain 2 again, and right on top of this single crochet, make a single crochet, chain 2, and again we have the second shell right in the middle, right here, make a single crochet, 3 chains, single crochet, 2 chains, on top of the single crochet, make a single crochet, 2 chains, and again same thing right in the middle here, 2 and 2 on each side, make a single crochet, 3 chains, single crochet. And that's all we're going to do for the rest here of this row. That's what it looks like from the inside, and here's the front. Now continue, finish this row, and I'll meet you at the end. I'm here at the end of this row. I have my last 2 chains here, and on top of this single crochet at the end here, make a single crochet. Now we're going to continue along the side here. This is what it looks like here at the bottom. So to do the sides, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to chain 1. Now I have this last single crochet that I did. Insert your hook into this space here and make a single crochet. Now the next row we have a single crochet right here. Make a single crochet, chain 3, single crochet into this same space. We're going to continue in the same way that we did here along the front panel, but just for the bottom part. So now chain 2, skip this row of double crochets, and into the single crochet right here, make a single crochet, 3 chains, single crochet, chain 2, skip this row of double crochets, and into the row of single crochet here along the edge, make a single crochet, 3 chains, single crochet, 2 chains, skip this double crochet, and into the single crochet, single crochet, 3 chains, single crochet, 2 chains, skip this double crochet, and into the single crochet, make a single crochet, 3 chains, single crochet, 2 chains, skip this double crochet, and into the single crochet, single crochet, 3 chains, single crochet, and then I need to do one more. So 2 chains, skip this double crochet, and into the single crochet, 3 chains, single crochet. Now this is what it looks like. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these chain 3 spaces. If you have a hard time doing this, you can also just do single crochets. In the rows that you have a double crochet, make 2 single crochets, and then 1 single crochet in the row of single crochets all the way to the top, because this is what I'm going to do here. I have this next double crochet, so here I'm going to do 2 single crochets. Then I have the row where we did double crochets, but then we turned with a 2 chains here. So into this space, make 1, then 2 single crochets, then 1, 2, and then I'm going to make 1 single crochet right here. This is the first chain 2 space there. So here so far I have, let's see, This is my single crochet, 2 chain single crochet. Then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to make my 10th single crochet into the first chain here. And that's what it looks like. Okay, so now we're going to continue around the neckline. Here to turn into this same stitch where I did this last single crochet, make 2 more single crochets. And now into each one of these remaining chains for the neckline, make 1 single crochet. So continue here. I'll meet you here at this other side to show you how we're going to work this front panel. I finished making these single crochets along the neckline. I'm here on this other side. Into this last chain here, I already have 1 single crochet. I'm going to make 2 more single crochets. Now on this side I need to make 2 buttonholes, 1 here at the top and 1 around here. If you want to make more, then you can just add them and just leave the space that you want between the buttonholes. So here to make the first buttonhole, I have 3 single crochets here into this last chain. I'm going to chain 2, and into this first double crochet for this row of double crochets, I'm going to make 2 single crochets. Now into the next row right here, there's a chain 2 space, make 1, into the next row 2, into the next row 1, into the next row 2, and now this is where I'm going to make my next buttonhole. I'm going to make 2 chains, and into the next row here there's a chain 2 space, make 1 single crochet. So here are my 2 buttonholes. There's 1 and there's 2. If you want to make more, you can do them in the same way. Now here for the skirt of the sweater, this part here where we begin the fans, I need to start this same thing where we do single crochet, chain 3 single crochets. So I need to do this first one right here. This here in the next row is a chain space. That's where we were chain 1 and then turn, and then we did the row of fans or the row of shells. So here into this space, make a single crochet, 3 chains, single crochet, 2 chains, skip this space and into the next chain 1 space right here, make a single crochet, 3 chains, single crochet, 2 chains, skip this next space and into the chain 1 space here, make a single crochet, 3 chains, single crochet, 2 chains, skip this next space. We have the chain space right there, make a single crochet, 3 chains, single crochet, 2 chains, skip the next row and into the row single crochet, make a single crochet, 3 chains, single crochet. Continue and finish this side, and I will meet you here at the end to show you what we need to do next. Okay, I finished making this side. Here at the end I just did a single crochet, cut my yarn, passed my yarn through that last loop, and this part here is all done. I also went ahead and added my buttons. These buttons here are 12 millimeters, so you can use the same size. You can also add more buttons like I mentioned when we were doing this part, but I'm only going to add 2 for mine. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to do the sleeves. I already went ahead and did this side. You're going to do it exactly in the same way. So we're going to go right here, right under the sleeve. This is going to be the right sleeve. So we're going to start with the same hook, the 5mm hook, and the same yarn. We're going to go right here, right under the sleeve, right here into this space. I have 2 double crochets on both sides, so right in the middle. Insert your hook, grab a loop here, chain 2, and right into this same space here, make a double crochet. Now we're going to go around this side here, and I'm going to skip these 2 double crochets, so just move them like this, and into this space right here you're going to yarn over, insert your hook, grab a loop, take 2 loops off, leave 2 loops on the hook, yarn over again. Then we're going to go right here. This is that last shell that we did before we divided the sleeves. So right here into this double crochet space, grab a loop, take 2 loops off, 3 loops on the hook, close. Now this decrease here counts as 1 double crochet. Now we have the first 2 double crochets for the sleeve, these 2 here. So yarn over, insert your hook on top of the first one, take 2 loops off, leave 2 loops, yarn over, and into the next, same thing, take 2 loops off, 3 loops on the hook, close. So this double crochet decrease here counts as 1 double crochet. So far I have 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3. Now we're just going to continue all around the sleeves. Inside the chain 1 space, you're going to make a double crochet. On top of the double crochets, make a double crochet, and so on. You're going to continue like this all around the sleeve until you come here to this other side. 2 stitches before we finish these 2. So I will meet you right here to show you how we're going to finish this first row. I'm here at this other side of the sleeve. This is the first row. Up to here into this chain 1 space, I have 28 double crochets. I still have these last 2 double crochets, so we're going to work a double crochet decrease. So yarn over, insert your hook, grab a loop, take 2 loops off, yarn over, insert your hook on top of the last double crochet, take 2 loops off, 3 loops on the hook, close. Now here's the first decrease. Now we're going to do the same thing here into this double crochet right there. So yarn over, insert your hook into this space, take 2 loops off, yarn over, then into this space right before these 2 double crochets, insert your hook there, take 2 loops off, 3 loops on the hook, close. So now I have 30 double crochets. To finish, go on top of this first double crochet and join with a slip stitch. And this is how I finished the first row with a total of 30 double crochets all around. From here on, we're going to continue with these 30 double crochets. So all we're going to do is just 1 double crochet on top of each one of the double crochets. So here, to start you off on the second row, chain 2. Remember, these 2 chains never count as a stitch. So to begin each row, you're always going to make your first double crochet on top of the first double crochet, which is the same one where we do the slip stitch. Then on top of each one of these double crochets, you're going to make a double crochet, and you're always going to finish with 30 double crochets. That's all we're going to do. And we're going to do this for a total of 10 rows. To finish this row, go on top of the first double crochet, join with a slip stitch, then chain 2, and then repeat the same thing. Now continue, do these 10 rows, and then I'll come back and show you how we're going to make the cuff. I finished making the sleeve. I did a total of 10 rows. Now here we're going to make the cuff. This is going to be the first row. So chain 1. Now into these 2 double crochets, I'm going to work a single crochet decrease. So insert your hook on top of the first, grab a loop, insert your hook on top of the next, grab a loop, 3 loops, close. Now make 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, and into the next 2, a single crochet decrease. 2 single crochets, and then a single crochet decrease. 2 single crochets, and then single crochet decrease. This is all we're going to do for this first row. Continue, and I'll meet you here at the end. I'm here at the end of this first row of single crochets. In this row we did reductions, and I have a total of 22 single crochets. Now if you're off by 1 or 2, it's okay, just join here to the top of the first single crochet with a slip stitch. Now we're going to make 2 rows now of single crochets, and I'm going to have 22 at the end of every row. So to begin, you're going to chain 1, and into this same stitch here, which is the first one, make a single crochet on top of the next, single crochet on top of the next, and so on. This is all you're going to do for the second and the third row. When you finish this second row, just go on top of the first single crochet, join with a slip stitch, chain 1, and then repeat the same thing for the third row. And that's all we're going to do. So continue, finish the cuff, and then I'll come back and show you the finished sleeve. Okay, I finished making the third row here of single crochets. At the end, I just joined to the beginning with a slip stitch, cut my yarn, passed my yarn through that last loop, and then I just hid my ends here on the inside. And the sleeve is all done, and that's what it looks like. Now, you're going to do exactly the same thing here on this side. It's done exactly in the same way. So the little coat or jacket or cardigan is all done, and that's what it looks like. It's absolutely beautiful. I love this color. I also went ahead and did the matching little dress. This one here, stay tuned. Next week I'll go ahead and upload the tutorial for this little dress here. It's absolutely beautiful. Comment below and let me know if you want me to make the matching diaper cover, a little bonnet or hat or baby shoes. So let me know. Now let me give you the finished measurements. From the top of the neckline down to the end of the sleeve, it's measuring about 24 centimeters, which is about 9.5 inches. From under the sleeve to the end of the sleeve, it's measuring about 14 centimeters, which is about 5.25 inches. Now from the top of the neckline down to the end here, it's measuring about 27 centimeters, which is about 10.5 inches. And the waist, just the top, it's measuring about 24 centimeters, which is about 9.5 inches. So based on these measurements, this little coat, jacket, or cardigan sweater is for baby girls between 3 and 6 months old. Now you can also make it smaller or bigger. Down here in the information box, I'll leave some information on how you can make it smaller. I'd say from 0 to 3 months and up to 6 to 12 months. So be sure to check that out and stay tuned for the little dress. Next week I'll show you the tutorial. Okay, so this was today's tutorial. I hope you like it. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.